Hi, welcome for our RTL online trainings. So we have discussed in the last sessions, what is cloud, what is fusion applications, what are different types of domains we have in fusion applications. Okay, so I have uploaded here in this. Now we are going to talk about what is the fusion applications environment. What is fusion applications environment? How we are going to work with this environment, how we are going to work with this environment. So now we are going to talk about, let me just describe this, like what is cloud we talked, what are different cloud companies we have in the market, what is Oracle Cloud, what are different tools we have in Oracle Cloud, what are different products we have, and different data centers Oracle established in the different countries, in the different regions. And then we also talked about Oracle fusion applications. What is fusion applications? And what are the different domains we have in fusion applications? And then what is fusion financials? What are different modules? And we also talked about how the projects comes from the client's point of view, and who will start work, and what are different roles in the project, what is functional role and what is technical role, we discussed in our previous sessions. And who are the competitors for our Oracle applications, Oracle fusion applications in the market, what is the advantage of the fusion cloud ERP. This all we discussed in our last two sessions. Now we are going for fusion applications setup environment. Fusion applications setup environment. We'll call it as FSM, functional setup manager. We'll call it as FSM, functional setup manager. So whenever we are working with the fusion applications, 90% of our functional work, means functional setups, we will be doing from this particular environment. So whenever we are working in the project, 90% our job will be from here only, FSM environment. We are going to discuss first how to create our own user, how to create our own implementation user. After that, we'll talk about what is navigator menu, what is user menu. Okay, and then we will be discussing what is FSM environment, functional setup environment, how to create an implementation project, how to export or import functional setups. This is all we are going to discuss in this particular session. This is very important. Okay, so first we will see how we can go for create our own credentials. Generally, when you are working in the project or when you start learning with us, we will be providing you the credentials like URL and username and password. First, what you have to do is, once you log into the applications, let me just show you. So this is a cloud environment. We are connecting to Oracle Cloud. In Oracle Cloud, as we discussed, there are a number of applications and tools. There are a number of applications, products and tools available. Now we are connecting to fusion applications. Now we are connecting to fusion applications. So we got the credentials from Oracle. So we are connecting to, here it is. Now this is an environment. Once we connect, we will find. Let me make it as a full screen. So whenever we connect to fusion applications, there are two menus we will find. The left side, navigator menu. We can see that left side navigator. Here we will be performing the transactions. Here we will be performing the transactions day to day. And right side we will find user menu. Right side we will find user menu here. Here we will find user menu. Okay. So as I said, setup and maintenance. Here we will be doing most of the work. Okay. So what I'll do is, first, let us create our own credentials. Let us create our own credentials here. I'm going to show you how we can create our own implementation user. Means our own username and password. Go to navigator, go down, tools menu, security console, tools menu, security console. Go to the tab called users tab. Go to the tab called users. Now we are trying to create our own user account. We are trying to create our own user account. Let's click this button, add user account. I'm providing the username here, October. Username is October Finance. Password I'm going to enter. Reset the password. We are supposed to add two roles to become as implementation user. To become as implementation user, we are supposed to add two roles. We are supposed to add two roles. Click add role button. We are going to click this add role button. Here I'm going to add two important roles. IT security manager. IT security manager. And another role is application implementation consultant. Application implementation consultant. These two roles are required. Application implementation consultant. These two roles we are supposed to assign. These two roles we are supposed to assign. Application implementation consultant. So what we have done here is we created our own username and password. For that, we added two roles, IT security manager and implementation consultant. So here, if you have the access to the IT security manager, then what you can do is you can access to the security console. This is what we call it as security console. If you have the access to security console, then you will be able to create your own username and passwords, and you will be able to manage the roles also. We'll be able to manage the users as well as the roles. Both we will be able to perform this. We'll be able to perform both. Okay. So here we are going to talk about the user management as well as the role management. We'll talk about that later. Next, second role, application implementation consultant. Application implementation consultant. This is for accessing the setup and maintenance environment. Nothing but FSM area. Nothing but FSM area. Functional setup manager. Functional setup manager. Setup and maintenance. Here we are going to find out. So what I have done is now I have added both the roles to the user. Okay, both the roles I have added to the user. Now take the user name. Let's go for save and close. Log out from the current user. Log out from the current user here. And just log in with the new user, whatever we have created. Now we'll just log into the applications. Now we can see that we are able to log in this current user. Now I just wanted to test. Go to navigator. Now tools menu. Here I can see the security console here. I can see security console here. Right. It means IT security manager role has been attached for current user. Next, when you go to the user menu, I can see that setup and maintenance here. It means FSM, functional setup manager. Functional setup manager role has been applied. Functional setup manager as well applied. Here it is. This is how we can create our own username and password and add the roles. This is implementation user, how to create implementation user. This is generally functional consultants will do it. Technical consultants also will do this work. In the real time, when we are working in the project, we are supposed to create our own credentials, or somebody else will create, like in case in the company, if there is any team leader or some administrator, they will create this user and assign to us. We are supposed to test whether we got the access to implementation environment, means FSM and security console or not. So we are going to cross check both. So once we cross check this, then we will be able to perform the actions. Okay. So just now we have seen what is navigator menu and what is user menu. So navigator menu is used to perform the transactions. This is our navigator menu. Here we will be performing the transaction. What is mean by transaction? For example, you will go for shopping and you will buy a product. What they do? They will collect the amount from you. Immediately they will give you a bill. Creating a bill is a transaction. We call it as invoice here. Create an invoice. Let's say your product is not good. What you will do? You will try to return the product to the shopkeeper. So when you return the product, what they do? Whatever the product you are returning, that information they will enter in the system, and they'll take the item and they will return the money. So there are two transactions. One, they have received the item into their shop, that they will enter in the system. Then the second one is they have paid the amount back to you, that also they will enter in the system. These all are transactions. Whenever any company is performing the business, when any company is running the business in either in one branch or multiple branches within the country or across the countries, What they do, employees will come to the office every day and they will log in. Whatever the business is happening, that they will enter in the system. For example, you go to supermarket, you purchased 5 items. They will enter all the information in the system. Unless and until printout is come, they won't take money. If the system is not working, they will not sell the product. They'll say sales stopped. Once the system is entered, once the employee entered in the system and bill is ready, then they'll go for collect the amount from you and they'll try to sell the product, right? These all are transactions. Whatever the employees are doing day-to-day business, we call them as a transactions. Here we will be doing. Then here, if you are trying to do that transaction, you have to do the setup. For example, if you buy one item, you got $10. If you buy the same item, 5 quantity, each item cost is $8.5. Means $1.5 you are giving the discount to the customer. So that needs to be set up in the system, right? At the same time, for example, customer is a regular customer. 5 times he has visited. So then we want to give the discount for 6th time. Like this, there will be some thousands of setups we have to do it in the application, in the system. Whatever I have explained, very simple examples, regular examples in our life, what we will be watching for easy understanding, I have told. But whenever we are working in the project as a team, 5 members or 10 members or 20 members of team, we will be working developers, testers, technical people, functional consultant, project manager, team leader, project delivery head. All the people will combine and do some thousands of setups and make this product is ready to use according to the client's business. Because even if ICICI Bank is there, HDFC Bank is there, both are banks only. Both business is banking business. Both are in India only. But when you go to ICICI Bank, if you want to open an account, their application format is different. If you go to HDFC Bank, I want to open an account, their application format is different. Their procedure is different. Their business terms and conditions are different. Their interest rates are different. Their charges are different, right? So business environment or domain might be same, but every client will have their company, their own policies, right? Their own terms and conditions that needs to be configured here. Okay. So that's why, as I said, 90% of our work will be here. Whatever the setups we have done here, whether those setups are working or not, we are supposed to test. Where do we test? We have to test it from here, navigator menu. So simple, user menu is used to perform the setups. Navigator menu will be used to perform the transactions. Whatever the setups we have performed, if you want to test whether your setup is perfect or not, working or not, deployed or not, then you are supposed to do one transaction and test it. For example, you are telling that if customer is going to buy 5 items, the system take item cost is $8.5. That's what you said. I have done the setup. Then I have to test it, right? So what I will do is I'll go for sales order form and I'll create an item. Okay. And I'll go for create order for item quantity less than 5 items and more than 5 items. Then I will check whether less than 5 items means it should take $10 cost. If it is more than 5 items, it should take $8.5, right? Like that, we are going to test it from here in this environment. Okay, so here, whenever we are working in the Fusion applications, in the navigator, we are supposed to test and we will deliver to the client. Because before we deliver these components or setups or modules to the client, we are supposed to test those things, right? We are supposed to test. After testing this, then we are going for deliver to the client according to this. Here it is. Okay, this is about the user menu and navigator menu. Is clear, everybody? Any doubts here you have? Please, you can unmute yourself and ask for the doubts. Any doubts here? Fine. Next. Now we are going to enter into the environment called FSM. Very important. Go to user menu, setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance. This environment, we call it as FSM environment. Nothing but functional setup manager. Functional setup manager. So any modules, financials modules, human capital management, or supply chain management, or CRM modules, any module will do the setups from this environment. So once we enter into the FSM environment, if you want to know whether your client has subscribed for this financials or not, go to actions menu, go to offerings, go to financials here. We can find here the status is enabled or not. Here the status is enabled or not. So this is what we call it as FSM environment. Enabled status or not. Okay, click done button. Next. You can also find out from here, financials. We can also find out here, financials is there. We can find supply chain management, order management, procurement, product management. We can find marketing, public sector. This is all we are going to find out. This is all we are going to find out here. Okay. So whenever we go to financials, we can perform the setups here. What Oracle says, whatever the setups you are performing, you can do it from here. You can search for the task. You can search for the task here and perform the setup. Or you can also do it from here and here. What is the difference between this one and this one is, there is no difference, but here whenever you search for the task, what happened? System will search only in this. For example, I have selected payables. It means only in the payables module, your task will be searched. Whatever the task you are trying to, task is nothing but a setup form. Task is nothing but a setup form. So whatever the task you are trying to search, that will be searching only in this particular module. That will be searching only in this particular module. For example, when you are searching for the task, you do not have the idea in which module you are searching, then what you can do is you can go for global search here. You can go for global search option here. Here we can find. Here we don't have. Here what it will do is it will search for. Here it will go for all the modules. All the modules it will search. So very rare case we will go for this global search. Another option what Oracle says, you can create your own implementation project and start doing the setups. Implementation project is nothing but just name you are giving for all your setups. For example, I am performing some 20 setups. You can provide the name for all your 20 setups. Generally, when we are working in the projects, your client will create, client in the sense our project manager or team leader is going to create an implementation project and we are going to perform the setups in implementation project. We can do shortcut from here also. Okay, so go to implementation project and do the setups here. Excuse me. In future, if you want to go for export and import all these processes, then we will be using this manage export and import processes. Manage export and import processes. Here we are going to find out. So whatever the setups we have done after completion of this, whatever the setups we have done after completion of this, then we are going to export, and then again we can import in another environment, That's what we'll be doing it. If you want to purge the export and import processes, we will be doing purge means delete option. Purge means delete option here. So let me create one implementation project. Manage implementation projects here. Manage implementation project. If we look at here, multiple implementation projects are created. But all these implementation projects, as we are working in Vision instance, okay, we will find everybody has created their own implementation project. But when we are working in the real time, we will find only one implementation project. We will find only one implementation project. We don't find multiple for finance and all. Okay, so let me create one implementation project. So in the interviews, they'll ask you, what is implementation project? What is implementation project? Implementation project is nothing but a group of modules which we are implementing for our client. It's a group of module setups which we are implementing for our client. That is what we call it as implementation project. So let me choose this October finance implementation project. My client is asking just implement only one module called account payables. Later we can add. So we would like to set up only account payables module. We would like to set up only account payables module. Click next button. Now see, system is asking select offerings to implement. So whatever the offerings you want to implement, then it is asking us to select. It is asking us to select compensation management, customer data management, customer loyalty. Like this we will find, but we are working in financials. We are working for financials. Just enable it. Check this checkbox. Then it will show a list of modules available in the financials. Here we can find a list of modules available in our financials. Then we can see that supplier invoice processing, nothing but account payables, expense module, fixed assets module, a customer invoice processing means account receivables module, revenue management, intercompany budget control. Like this we will find. Right now, supplier invoice processing we are working. Supplier invoice processing we are working. Check this. Nothing but account payables module. Nothing but account payables module. Select this. Now go for save and open the project, or we can just go for save and close. We'll just log out from the current user and we will log into the applications here. Now just go for click done button. Let me just log out from the current user and log in so that we'll get know the navigations once again. Just log out from this current user. Log into the applications again. Go to user menu. Go to setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance. So once we go to setup and maintenance, go to task list. Task list is nothing but a menu. One task is nothing but one page. Okay, where we will be performing the setup. When you group the pages, we'll call it as a task list. When you group the pages, we'll call it as a task list. We call it as menu. Okay, let's go to task list. Go to manage implementation project. Here it's showing the list of implementation projects. Now we would like to go for choose this financial implementation project here. Click on this. Now this is our implementation project. And here we can find the modules, financial modules here. Invoicing, payments and all. Right now we have selected only one module called account payables. Account payables. After some time, we would like to add one more module and start doing the implementation. We can add from here. Click on plus symbol. We can add a simple task, nothing but one page. We can add task list, nothing but group of pages, nothing but a menu. Or we can add the entire offering, nothing but entire module we can go for add. Entire module we can go for add from here it is. Okay, so depends on the requirement. We'll be doing all this on our next classes. So what we have done now, we have created an implementation project. Okay, let me go back to our task here. We have discussed about what is FSM, functional setup manager, and we have discussed how to create an implementation project. In implementation project, there is another feature where managers can assign the tasks to the employees and employees can update their status. For example, manager is asking, let's say in team, there are 3 consultants. Manager is asking to perform this all setups by one consultant. How the manager will assign this task to the team members? There is a button here, assign task. Click this button. Select username here. Search for username Curtis Karen, assign this. So this employee, whenever he log into the applications, he will start working with those particular setups. He will start working with those particular setups. Then click here. This they wanted to assign to someone else. This they wanted to assign to someone else here. So select this menu, assign task. Let's say they have assigned for James. Like this, manager is going to assign this tasks to the employees. Then employees will start working on this. How the employees are going to update the status. For example, this user is there. If he started working on this, then he can edit status. There is a button here, edit status. Click on this button, edit status, and he can update in progress. Means the employee is doing that setup, completed with errors. Like that, it is going to be specified. This is how the tasks will be assigned for employees, how this task will be updated by the employees. For example, manager wanted to know the setups, what are the setups are completed, what is project status. Manager wanted to know the project status, because when I say implementation project, it's a just group of modules which we are doing the setups, right? So the manager can go to the button called overview button, select your project, go to overview button, click overview button. Now manager can identify what is the project status, can understand the project status, how many setups has done, how many setups needs to be completed, and who are all working in the project with different statuses, means different setups and tasks. So we can find all of these options over here it is. So click this button called overview button. Whenever we click the overview button, we'll be able to find the project status. Okay, now this is your project name of the project, and here we can find how many setups we are supposed to complete in this particular project, how many setups are assigned for our team, and what is the project status. Means what is assignment status by task list, resource means team members, and assignment details we can find. Okay, is there any works are completed? Okay, so whenever we go to resource status, we assigned this project to 2 members, right? Here I can find. So one is this employee assigned, another one is this employee we have assigned, right? So like this, it is just like a management tool. So implementation project is going to be helpful for the managers to manage the entire project. Generally, in ERP projects or other software projects, what happened? The managers will use another tool to manage the project status and work and assignment, this all. So here in this particular environment, Oracle says that you can do it in this Fusion application itself. You don't need separate tool to manage. For example, you can maintain one Excel sheet. Okay, we are supposed to do 200 setups. Out of 200, 5 setups I have assigned to X member, 10 setups I have assigned to Y member, 30 setups I have assigned to Z member. Every day we will take the status from them and update. So this is all manual, right? So what Oracle says you can do in this itself. So this environment, mainly the manager is going to watch what is the project status. What is the project status that? Okay. So this implementation project, it's very simple. We'll just create an implementation project and we'll start working with this modules. Here it is. Okay. So once the implementation project is done, we will try to export and import this implementation project processes. Because when we are working in the real time, what happened? We will be having minimum 3 instances. One is development instance. Another one is testing instance. Another one is a production instance. Another one is a production instance. We are going to have 3. So in the development instance, we are going to do all our development setups, configurations. Here you can create and delete and modify and do whatever research you want to do in this instance. We can do. Instance is nothing but another server. It's as simple as like in our laptop, how we will create folders. Same way here we will have a instances, nothing but a software. Software will be separated here. Okay. So in the development instance, we will do all our setups and we'll do the development. We'll do functional setups. Technical people will do technical work. Integration consultants will do integration work like this. Once we do this setups in development instance, if you feel that it is fine working, then it will be moved into the testing instance. Then it will be moved into the testing instance. In the testing instance, we are going to test all our setups. We are going to test all our setups with testing data. We will write some test cases. Just now I told you, right? When you select more than 5 items, means if you select the item quantity as more than 5, then system should take the item cost as $8.5. If you choose item quantity is less than 5, then it should take $10, right? It's a test case. You are supposed to write a couple of test cases and test it. And once it is tested, then it will be moved into the production. Production means it's a live. Client employees are working. For example, if you go to supermarket or you go to medical shop or you go to some movie theater, INOX. So these all are sales. It's in production. It's an online, right? So these all are live. Production instances are nothing but where the clients are going to work. We are not going to do any work. Clients are going to work, means client employees are going to work. During their business transactions, if they find some problem, they will raise the tickets. They will raise the request for changes. They will raise the tickets for any bugs or any issues or any clarifications. Our support team is supposed to give the solution for those. Our support team is supposed to provide the solution for that. Okay. So we'll be talking about in our training in the next level, different instances, different phases of this. Now, whenever you do the work here in the development, how will you transfer your setups from development to testing? How will you migrate all your setups from development instance to testing instance? How will you do that? That is what we are going to do it by using the export and import process. We will use export and import. We will export from development instance. After exporting, then we will import into the testing instance. We'll import into the testing instance. So that's how we are going to do it. Okay, so we can click search button and try to go for export and import the processes from here. So where do we do that? Here, this is manage, export and import processes here. This is for configuration process. Still, we have not done any setups, right? We just created implementation project. We have not done any setups. So that's why we are going to find 0 result here. We are going to find 0 result. Now we can choose any other implementation project and start working on that. We'll see that in our next class. In the next class, we'll be discussing about this. So this is about today, FSM environment. FSM environment. This is a basic thing which we are supposed to complete. Okay, export and import, creating our own user, creating our own implementation project, understanding the environment like navigator menu, user menu. This is all we are going to do it. Okay, so let's go for perform this. Tomorrow we are going to have the third demo. There we will see other options. Thank you.